Massive partner in brief of ongoing progress work on the shutdown of Lagos Infrastructural and
bring all the traffic into this direction.
We are going to work to ensure that it is better during the day traffic. If we don't do what we need to do now, the road will collapse.
Good day and welcome to another interesting package of your program, Infrastructure Weekly. Today on the program, we'll be taking you around the various infrastructural projects of the Muhammadan Buhari administration designed to bridge the infrastructural deficit, be it in the power, housing, roads, rail, and others. We'll be right back after this time out. I'm your anchor, Abosade Omowi. Stay tuned.
Coming together of opportunities. This is what
Infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
there is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and Core TV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
Welcome back. The federal government has reiterated its commitments to the development of roads across the country, especially those that are tagged strategic, having the ability to link state and the major centers of commerce, agriculture, and economic activities together. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi and his counterpart in the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, Osani Oguro Sani, disclosed this while speaking after an inspection visit to the East-West Road, which links the Niger Delta states to the western part of Nigeria. The road, which has been under construction for the better part of a decade, has dragged along and been abandoned several times due to the non-availability of funds. However, the federal government, according to the two ministers, will do all within its powers to ensure it is properly funded to completion.
The federal government's determination to continue to reduce the infrastructural deficit in the country has witnessed a boost following the renewed efforts at completion of the East-West Road. The road connects the south-south and western parts of the country. The road construction runs from Warri through Kayama in Bayelsa State, onto Ahoda, into Port Harcourt, and on to Oron in Akwa Ibom State. To ensure value for money, the federal government's interministerial committee, consisting of the ministries of Niger Delta Affairs, Transportation, Power, Works and Housing, and Information and Culture, conducts a tour of the road. Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, expressing satisfaction on the level of progress attained so far on the project, says it has been more progressive than in previous years, and its early completion is of top priority for the federal government, adding that contractors only need more funds to execute the job and nothing will be spared towards its actualization.
This ministerial committee was established to come and do the assessment. So on a report back, the government is willing to source funds from whatever source to be able to give good attention to the project.
Despite lean resources at its disposal, the federal government, led by President Muhammadan Buhari, says it is not turning back on its commitments to finish the East-West Road, which is a route catering to heavy traffic of goods and services, especially those used in the exploration of oil and gas in the Niger Delta region. Tour of the project is to ascertain the quality of jobs executed, put to rest lingering challenges against the completion of the East-West Road, and provide solutions for its early completion. Usani disclosed that the Federal Executive Council gives priority to the East-West Road project, which influenced formation of the Interministerial Committee to to carry its assessments to enable government source funds for completion of the projects.
The Federal Executive Council gives priority to this project.
According to the committee, the Federal Executive Council has granted preference to the timely completion of the East-West Road because of its relevance to the oil-rich region, adding that government is poised to deploy available resources towards its actualization and swift delivery. Also speaking, Minister of Transportation explains that contrary to general opinion, the tour has changed perceptions that the project has been abandoned by these governments as serious work is ongoing on the road.
In some areas, one lane has been completed. In some areas, 2 lanes have been completed. So it means that you can actually drive from Warri and get to Port Harcourt without having to. Those areas where they don't have, where they not completed the second lane. From what you heard the man say that if they get to some of 59 billion and they complete it.
The committee adds that although some remedial works needs to be executed on some completed sections of the road, immense progress has been recorded compared to what the Interministerial Committee witnessed when it visited in 2016. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs also acknowledges that Section 5, which is the last section of the road spanning from Oron to Calabar, will soon be awarded. The committee believes that it is pertinent for the South-South to appreciate contributions of the Buhari-led federal government to the development of the Niger Delta region and appeal to youth of the region to desist from vices that can impede development efforts within the oil-rich region and take it backward among other regions.
We must tell our young men, the youths, that no, we can't continue. The other parts of the country will leave us behind. In the cabinet, nobody is looking at your face. They're looking at the country. Any part of the country that is not ready for development, other parts will wait for them.
The road connects Warri in Delta State to Oron in Akwa Ibom State through Kayama and Port Harcourt in Bayelsa and Rivers States, respectively. It would be recalled that the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs inherited the East-West Road from the former Federal Ministry of Works on its establishment in 2008 and has been battling with its completion over the years.
In furtherance of efforts aimed at ensuring safe driving by Nigerians on roads all over the country, the federal government has awarded new set of road projects designed to reconnect Nigerians and also ensure the continuation of commerce between communities. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, who stood in for the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said the project totaling 185 billion naira is on 14 roads across the country.
Repair and construction. There are 14 of them in different parts of the country. You have Goza, Damboa, Goniri, Ngamdu Road in Yobe and Borno states. That's for rehabilitation. Also for rehabilitation, Mayo Beowa Jada Ganye Tongo Road in Adamawa State. Rehabilitation of Ado Ifaki Otun, Kwara State Border Road in Ekiti. Repair of Makodi Bridge in Benue State. Construction of Ihugi Korea Wuse Anka Road in Benue State. Rehabilitation of Gbagi Akwa Owode Road in Badagry area of Lagos. Then construction of Ijebu Igbo Itaegba Road in Ogun State. Dualization of Jatu Fuga Agenebode Road in Edo State. Rehabilitation of Makodi Boko Kwanune Yandev Road Section 1 in Benue State. Rehabilitation of Old Enugu Port Harcourt Road. Rehabilitation of Umulungwe Umoka Amoku Road. Rehabilitation of Maiduguri Monguno Road.
If you were just joining us, the program is Infrastructure Weekly. You can get in touch with us for comments, feedback, and inquiries on Facebook at facebook.com/Infrastructure Weekly and on Twitter at infra_weekly. Join us after this break for more on the program. Stay with us.
London, New York or Lagos, business or holiday, home or office. You can now carry out your tax transactions from anywhere in the world. You can now file all your tax returns, pay online, get a receipt and even process your tax clearance certificate from anywhere in the world online and in real time. All you need to do is log on to www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-services and be introduced to the world of innovation, convenience and transparency from the FIRS. You can also pay stamp duty as you register a new company with the CAC or for other transactions that require stamp duty payment online. You can also file your withholding tax returns and determine the withholding tax deducted from you is in government coffers so that you can get your receipt within 45 days as long as the deduction has been remitted. Yes, all of this and more online at www.firs.gov.ng/e-services. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC. Please note that all FIRS services are free of charge. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. It pays to pay your tax.
The federal government says it will continue to back indigenous engineers to deliver on vital national infrastructure projects. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo disclosed this while speaking after an inspection visit of the completed Edo Azura 450 megawatts power generating station in Edo State. He added that the project will be a game changer for the people of the state and neighboring state, as it will improve the power supply situation.
The federal government says it will continue to support the work of indigenous engineers who have demonstrated the capacity to deliver on projects of importance to national development. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo disclosed this after an inspection tour of the 450 megawatts Edo Azura power project in Edo State. The project, an independent power project, according to the Vice President, is a confirmation of the administration's program of creating an enabling environment for the growth of the private sector. The Vice President, who noted that the plant has greatly increased the capacity of Nigeria to generate power, described its completion as a major positive for Nigeria, Nigerians and economic development.
The very positive effect of this amount of generation coming onto the grid. So it's taken off, and as you can see for yourselves, an excellent project, a wonderful, really wonderful project. It's one that demonstrates the capacity of Nigerian engineering and Nigerian enterprise. So it really is impressive.
Expressing satisfaction on the level of work at the plant, he said the completion of the project will greatly enhance power supply to the residents in the state and all neighboring states.
Well, greatly improved because with 460 megawatts of additional power and with the quality of this particular plant, I think that we're on to a very good thing. And of course, even the capacity for the capacity to increase generation from here and all of that, I think it's very positive.
To the railways now. The federal government says it needs about 16.5 trillion naira to be able to complete the various railway projects scattered all over the country. It also reiterated its determination to ensure the completion of the Lagos to Ibadan part of the Lagos-Kaduna Standard Gauge Rail project by the end of the year. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi and his counterpart in the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Lai Mohammed, who both inspected the Lagos to Ibadan part of the project, said the move is an ongoing one that requires over 16 trillion naira.
The Lagos-Ibadan Railway Project, herein L1 Railway Project, about 156.075 kilometers long, is a section of the Lagos-Kano project. The Apapa Port branch has been added to increase the traffic capacity and operation profitability. The project, which is located in western Nigeria, starts from Lagos, the largest port city in south of Nigeria, to Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. Besides Apapa Harbour Station, There are 9 stations along the main line: Lagos, Agege, Agbado, Kajola, Papalanto, Abeokuta, Olodo, Omoredio, Ibadan, and Apapa stations. The project quantities include 26.26 million square meters earthwork, 4 extra large bridges, 11 large bridges, 4 medium bridges, 2 steel structure bridges, 10 frame bridges, 207 culverts, 40 railway crossing bridges, 31 pedestrian overpasses, 317.72 kilometers mainline rail, 62.26 kilometer station rail, 708.32 meter beam, 168 groups of single drive turnout, 4 groups of scissor crossover, 1.2 million cubic meter of ballast. The Minister of Transport Rotimi Amechi, addressing journalists, reveals that the rail project has created about 7,000 job opportunities to Nigerians, which has in turn improved the local economy.
We have told them that they must complete by 2018. Not more than January 2019, but we are meeting challenges and we observe those challenges as we go. We are still sticking to 2018 or 2019 January. We are still sticking to it, but the reality is that we are meeting the challenges of utilities on the right of way, especially in the area of Lagos, heading towards the Apapa seaport. You're meeting the challenge of sewer, water pipes, NMPC pipes carrying both crude and gas and petroleum. So it's not easy to, I won't say dislodge, it's not easy to remove these things. We're going to today's meeting, we'll try to find as much solution as possible, but that will delay the timeline. What are you expected to see? A speed train that will do a minimum of 150 kilometers per hour. That will take you to Ibadan in an hour from Lagos. And when finished, we introduce an express train that takes off from either Apapa or Butemeta straight to Ibadan, or straight to Abeokuta and then to Ibadan. And then we introduce one that will stop in virtually all stations. So it depends on how much, I won't say how rich, how much you can afford. Because if you want to go, if you use the one that will stop in all stations, I think it will be cheaper than using the one that will take you straight from Lagos to Abeokuta and Ibadan.
Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed reiterates the commitment of the federal government to a timely conclusion of the project. He explains that the tour is intended to showcase the many works of the present administration to Nigerians.
To come here today so that we can all see firsthand, how far the government has gone with this infrastructural development plan, especially starting with the road project. What we embarked upon this administration are 2 things. The first is that we have decided that we are going to upgrade and refurbish the 3,500 kilometers of narrow gauge railway. And at the same time, we are now, for the first time in the country, also introducing the standard gauge. Now, we are here, I believe, I believe this is the narrow gauge. This is the standard gauge, which is going to go from Lagos to Kano, but we are the Lagos to Ibadan, section of it, and you can see that in earnest, the work has commenced.
The set sum of 16.56 trillion naira is expected to cater for the Lagos to Kano, Lagos to Calabar and Port Harcourt to Maiduguri standard rail gauges. The 2 ministers were accompanied on the tour by over 30 journalists to have first-hand feel of the rail project.
You can get in touch with us on the various social media handles showing on your screen. Join us after this break for an overview of the impact of the National Housing Program so far, especially in the area of employment opportunities for local youth of areas where such projects are located. Don't go away.
Coming together of opportunities. This is what
Infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information of hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
There is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors
busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QoTV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
If you were just joining us, the program is Infrastructure Weekly, an in-depth look at the infrastructure agenda of the Buhari administration. When the Muhammadan Buhari administration came up with the National Housing Program designed to help in bridging the nation's millions of housing units deficit, one of the main rationale behind it was also to help in empowering the nation's teeming youthful population, especially artisans and technicians. With the program now in its full swing, we'll take a closer look at the impact, both as a program designed to address the needs of the people and also as an initiative to provide employment. Let's take a listen.
The National Housing Program, which took off simultaneously in 34 states across the country in January 2017, would be the second real attempt after Shagari's administration's low-cost housing scheme by the federal government to address housing challenges facing the country. This initiative of the President Muhammadan Buhari administration is a pilot phase consisting of 1, 2, 3 bedroom flats, including 3-story buildings, and government is willing to make it affordable and accessible to Nigerians.
When we finish that, that is when you will then know how much the entire building costs, how much it costs for a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3, and then we put it out. So by the time that committee finishes its work, we will certainly make public what our quantifications are in terms of cost and in terms of price. You know, of course, that the change that we must also have is the change that moves people away from buying houses as if they were going to buy fish in the market. You just pay for everything at once. That's not how it works in other societies. Your payment period is spread over some time, usually your working life.
The 2016 National Housing Program has generated about 64,000 jobs and is still generating more across the nation. Implementation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, as well as subsequent inspection of projects by the Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, is sustaining improvements on construction works and boosting the social welfare of the people. This present government, apart from addressing housing deficits in the country by injecting over 2,000 housing units, has succeeded in reducing unemployment across the nation.
You will see that we have tried to improve the quality because we build it for people who are lower in income. Doesn't mean that it has to be badly built. This is the quality of life. When President Buhari said in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan that he will invest in the Nigerian people, this is part of what it means. That it will give you a quality of life that lifts you up. So because it's for low-income people, doesn't mean it has to be badly built. And you will see me every time I'm inspecting, I'm asking my team, we must change the standard. Now, but this is our first entry into the market. Over the next few years, we have a research and development department who will continue to advise us where we made mistakes, how to change things. Just like you will take your tape back and you will sit down with your editor now, you will edit it. And that's how we will continue to improve.
The program is meant to improve the feasibility and practicability of developing houses with high low content for the state and private sector operators to emulate. It is being implemented in collaboration with the state within the context of the social inclusion, job creation and youth empowerment, as well as improve human capital development objectives of the ERGP.
State governments say many indigents of their state have benefited from the program through direct and indirect employment opportunities.
The housing project, as you have heard, is going smoothly, and the minister just asked for more land, so they will do more. So I guarantee you will have all the land you want. And we thank you for the project and considering us among the states that you want to increase the level of the project. We thank you.
The National Housing Program is also designed for the integration of persons living with disabilities through inclusive building designs with ramps for mobility and interaction. This administration considered it necessary to empower Nigerian contractors, suppliers, and artisans working on housing sites across the 34 states in the country through the implementation of the local content policy.
It's a scheme for social housing for the less privileged, for people that you could call disadvantaged, one way or the other.
We even need federal government to do more for us so that our people, our boys, have work to do. Some of us are hard, but they are carrying us along. We still have more many tax here. We need them. No, just extend it. From the extending, we would get more work, more jobs.
According to the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, letters have been forwarded to all state governors in the country to provide land for the second phase of the program.
That wraps it for this week. Join us again for another interesting package next week. Be a good citizen, pay your tax, and support the infrastructure agenda of the Muhammadan Buhari administration. Also, take ownership of public utilities around you. Thanks so much for watching. I am Abosade Omowi. Bye for now.
Bring all the traffic into this direction.